African Ascent is simply honored, not for the first time, but for consistent series of times, to be blessed with the presence of graceful performers from Berklee College of Music, which is considered to be the world leader for the study of contemporary music. My guest tonight, as a matter of fact, Professor Stan Strickland, hardly needs an introduction. He's an internationally acclaimed performer. There is no instrument that Professor Strickland cannot play with grace, with precision, with intelligence, with charisma, and with a rare ability. I say this not necessarily as a technically proficient musician, but as a professor of philosophy myself, but who is lucky to learn and familiarize myself with the cutting-edge type of musical performances that my own students are doing at Berklee. And each and every student who has had the privilege and the luck to have taken a course or a series of courses from Professor Strickland has something awesome and extraordinary things to say. A few things that I would like to highlight about his phenomenal list of accomplishments, in addition to his international conspicuous presence, is that he is also the director of a very promising and flourishing program that caters to the musical needs and aspirations of kids and youth called Express Yourself, which he tells me is located in Beverly, Massachusetts. He also possesses, this is hardly important, but he does, a master's degree from Lesley College, and he continues to be a famous and a highly respected professor, associate professor of music at Berklee College of Music. He also teaches at Tufts. He also teaches at Longy or Longy. I might have probably mispronounced this. And need I say this, but I better say it. He has done some remarkable openings that the world has talked about. For Miles Davis, for example. Miles Davis, mind you, Sonny Rollins, and many others. He works with famous and accomplished choreographers, producers, and composers. And he himself is, I need not say anything more, simply an extraordinary musician. African Ascent is honored, privileged, and looking forward to engage in a musical festivity with my great audience out there, thousands of you, when African Ascent brings Professor Stan Strickland for the first time to African Ascent. Welcome to African Ascent.
Well, thank you.
Well, I don't even know where to begin because I'm already so excited and so impressed. I'm starstruck, as a matter of fact. I couldn't believe that you'll be performing for us, but you are. So let's begin by talking about this remarkable work that you're doing with the youth called Express Yourself.
Yes, Express Yourself. So I'm the co-director. It was founded by Paula Conrad. And it's a program that services youth at risk, particularly youth with severe emotional disturbances. We're funded primarily by the Massachusetts Department of Mental Health, and we have collaborations with the City Wang Theater, with Endicott College, the Mass Cultural Council. We do what's called an intermodal expressive arts, which means that we do a lot of visual arts. We do African drumming. We have a lot of collaborations with amazing artists. We have Joe Kamara, an amazing African drummer. We have dance. We have singing. And we put it all together in a huge show that just actually finished last week at the City Wang Theater, with about 150 kids of various abilities and disabilities came together. Along with some guest artists. We've been very lucky to bring in various guest artists. We've had members from Stomp who were there with us. We've had the Blue Men Group perform with us. We've had Keith Lockhart from the Pops, who I've performed with. And we had the Boston Children's Chorus, which is a really well-known chorus in Boston. So we put all these groups together to basically destigmatize mental illness and to create a sense of community. Because regardless of your background, we all go through situations of difficulty, and some people have more intense situations than others. So we try to find a way to build a community through the arts.
While I was doing some research on you, I also learned that students, when they comment on you, they describe you as very charismatic and very nice, they say. I wonder what they're talking about. How do you combine charisma and being nice, and then at the same time be an extraordinary musician? Because musicians such as Wagner, from what we hear, were not necessarily nice, whereas you are nice and at the same time gifted.
Oh, thank you. I think musicians have evolved. Like, you know, in the old days, people had these visions of jazz musicians, you know, using a lot of drugs and being stuck in themselves. But I don't find my colleagues to be that way. You know, everyone realizes that music is a part of everyone's life. And so I don't take myself that seriously. I have so much to learn. I mean, the students at Berkeley keep me humble, and my colleagues. So I know that music is a force that we all partake of. And so I don't feel like it's me. I'm just in this ocean of energy and expressiveness. And so my job is to observe the world, observe the, you know, the evolution of human endeavors and consciousness, and try to contribute to, I would say, the consciousness of humanity. I think that's the artist's role, is to observe what's going on. You know, you look at the politics, you look at the economics, you look at the ecology. There's so much going on that can seem contradictory. And I try to find a way to add something that speaks about love and beauty, because that's what we all are looking for, right?
Incredible. In fact, your latest CD that everybody's talking about, I couldn't even wait until I get a copy of it. I think it's called Love and Beauty.
That's correct, yes.
Let's talk about that.
I wrote something on the liner notes about
yes, you did.
What that means. And actually that song came out of a rehearsal that I was having for my one-man show, which is called Coming Up for Air, which is about a near-death experience I had in Hawaii. And I collaborated with a dear friend of mine, the late John Lipsky, who's a playwright and director. And you know, I told him everything that I could think about my whole life, because we were working on this play.
Yes.
You know, I had a if you don't mind me indulging in all this, I had a concept of this one-man show I wanted to do, which was going to be based on the reincarnation of an African shaman, where I would start some incantations and go into this trance that would foretell these lifetimes of being an American slave, a blues singer, a doo-wopper, a bebopper, an R&B crooner, and then end up with a yogi flute player. So I told my friend that. He said, well, that sounds like your life. You should just tell your life story. So we proceeded to work on an autobiographical play. And in the process of that, I was thinking about, you know, all the strife and all the struggle that we as humans go through. And it occurred to me that in spite of all that, we all are striving for love and beauty. We want to be able to experience that when we see each other. And so I came up with a song that grew from that.
This takes me back, if you recall, to at least 10 or 15 years when we used to meet at Bally's.
Right.
And I didn't know then that you were already an established musician, famous. And then when I talked to you once, He just humbly told me, perhaps you forget this, you just humbly told me, if you have time, you asked me, why don't you come and listen to me at trials? Then on my own, I discovered that I was hanging out with one of the greatest musicians of our time. But there was no way.
I don't know if I would say that. I would say, I think I understand that, like I was saying, that music, there's a book that a lot of musicians have been drawn to, maybe you're familiar with. It's The Sufi Messages of Hazrat Inayat Khan. And he wrote many volumes on Sufism, and the second volume became very popular. And I've used it in my liberal arts class at Berkeley.
Yes.
And he talks about how everything is music. You know, language. Language came from sounds, and human beings are listening to animals. That the movement of the oceans and the seasons is our music, because music is a frequency. Some of the frequencies are beyond our ear. Some of the frequencies are outside of our visual spectrum. But when you break it down to it, it's all vibration. And I think a lot of artists, not just musicians, you know, try to find a way to tap into that and to communicate it in ways that can be beneficial to other people. So that's all I'm trying to do.
I had a guest in Afghan Ascent who thinks very highly of you. Again, you might not recall this particular interaction, but about a year ago at BTAT, I think, I was sitting right next to a great composer at Berkeley, Alan Levines, and you walked by us, and thinking that I did not know who you are, he told me that is Stan Strickland, and he said he doesn't even need a companion. He is the totality of music itself, he said. And from what I know, Alan Levines is considered to be one of our leading composers. So this was a leading composer introducing me to a leading performer in this instance, you. Is it true that you don't really need a band, that you can actually give a total performance with all kinds of instrumentations by yourself?
Yeah, I do have this one-man show, which is a play. So it has a written script, and it's but it has stories and songs from my childhood. You know, it's autobiographical and based on a near-death swimming experience, and so it has all the songs and different stories about my mother and grandmother. So that's in a very theatrical setting. But I have been exploring solo performance. Most often I perform with jazz groups,
yes,
quartets and quintets. I collaborate with dancers a lot, and the great thing about collaborating with a dancer, when an audience has something visual to follow, it allows the music to be a lot more abstract, because a lot of people aren't really comfortable with music that is a little more esoteric. But if you have a dancer or a poet, it allows the music to tell a different kind of story. So in those settings, the solo performance is useful. I would have liked to have used some of my looping devices, which does allow me to overlap several instruments at a time. But today I'll just be doing one instrument at a time.
Incredible. Otherwise, theoretically speaking, you can handle a drum, the horns, both the trumpet and the saxophone, the flute.
Not the trumpet, woodwinds, saxophone, flute, bass clarinet, and one of my favorite instruments, the African thumb piano, the kalimba, and the Native American drum. Because these are all parts of, things that have very much influenced me. one of the great things I think about American music is that it's such a synthesis of music around the world. Obviously, West Africa and Western Europe. But people often forget about the Native American influence on American music. So blues and gospel, rock and roll, all that music is really influenced by some of the vocal stylings of Native Americans, the kind of intense chant, moan, yearning kind of sound. So all those are very much influences on me, as well as Indian music and Japanese music. So I like to bring all those in together.
So you do share the interest in Japanese music, for example, with
yeah.
Alan Levines.
Yeah. I used to listen
John
so
Cage.
much to the shakuhachi, which is a bamboo flute. One of the beautiful things about Japanese music, like shakuhachi, flute music, is most often played solo, and the space around the notes becomes really big. So you can have one note, ta, but on the top of that note and on the side of that note is all this space. And that was a strong influence on me, how just one sound can sort of describe something that's not there. What's the sound that you're not hearing? And I find that very fascinating.
Do you have any discriminatory relationships with your instruments? Do you like one more than you do the other? Or
That's an ongoing question that I ask myself that. It's we call it a curse, a blessing and a curse, to have, to play different instruments. And I'm always thinking, if I could only play like 2 or 3, but they're all different voices, and I guess they are all parts of myself that I'm not yet ready to let go of. So it depends. Sometimes a flute, sometimes a voice, and sometimes a saxophone.
That's incredible. So the relationship that you have with your instruments is similar to the relationship that you have with the parts of the body.
That's a good way of describing it. I've often thought of the tenor saxophone, which is the big saxophone, as riding a horse, because when you're holding it, it has a certain size, and you can hold it in front or you can hold it to the side, and it's this kind of big thing, and it kind of makes you feel like you could be on a horse. And then the flute, I think, represents some of the upper chakras, if you will. It kind of stimulates maybe the third eye, and then the drum, stimulates different parts of the body. So I try to just open myself to all those kinds of energies and awarenesses and see where it goes.
When you wake up during any particular day, do you feel like waking up, let's say, to the saxophone in the morning, the flute in the afternoon, and the drum at night?
Well, maybe, but more to do with not wanting to make too much sound at night. Sometimes I play the flute late, because then I don't worry about disturbing someone. But it kind of depends on what I'm doing. Like earlier today, I was at Berkeley, working on a recording with my colleague Josh Rosen. So the music that he wrote was for bass clarinet and soprano.
I see.
Yesterday we were in the studio, and I was doing mostly flute. And then next week I'm working on a tenor saxophone concerto. So after today, I'm going to just be playing the tenor saxophone.
Have you ever played with George Russell Jr.?
Oh, all the time. We have something coming up in a couple of weeks.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Because he'll be coming to perform for us 2 weeks from now, I think.
Oh yeah, he's one of my heroes.
He's one of the greatest
piano
players, I think.
Afraid to play with him when I first met him.
of George Russell?
Yes.
Yes.
And actually, I'm starting to take some piano lessons with him too.
Yes. Awesome player. I can't wait until
that's
Afghan Ascent
Yeah,
interviews.
you're going to really enjoy that.
Yes. Well, just like I'm enjoying it. Yes, Afghan Ascent is just very lucky to have this great performance performing for it. So, what kind of instruments are you going to play for us tonight?
I'm going to play.
What's the program?
Well, I'm going to probably start with the flute.
Okay.
And I'm going to play a piece that actually has a title. It's called God Likes to Sing and Dance.
I see.
And then I'll probably go to the kalimba, and then play a jazz number on the soprano sax. Of course, this might change. I do some Native American chanting with my Native American drum that I got at a powwow. It's from the Cherokees, and then play some bass clarinet.
Incredible. And all this you're going to do for us in about 35 minutes, maybe? Or would you need more time? Or?
No, I think that will definitely do it.
Okay. And so I think we're just about to go on a break so that we can have the rest of the time to be devoted to your performance.
In 1990, in Severn, Maryland, the daughter of a clergyman was discovered by a music industry insider while pumping gas at a service station. The odds of her getting signed and spending 11 weeks at #1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of this former church choir singer going on to sell 40 million records? 1 in 15 million. The odds of the same woman winning 6 Grammy Awards and starring in 2 Broadway plays? 1 in 75 million. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite,
Unearth hidden passion.
Come on, we'll have a good time.
Seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic.
Change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall.
And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first little thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay. She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for ideas on how to get healthy together.
3.
bambapurina, umamamenino, uananadia, enaneneno, umamamanania, iamamaneo, iamamaneo, iamamane, iamamane, iamamaneo. Ake kule manatese mamanaya. O we yanga maniltana. Do you know where the light comes from? Can you hear an amber glow? Can you taste a quiet touch? And smell the sound of blue? Deep blue. It all comes from the breath.
yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, hey, hey, oh, yeah, hey, oh, everybody all around the world, everybody's talking about love, 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 love. Oh, everybody's talking about love, love, love. But they don't seem to understand the deep inside of everybody. They don't seem to understand the deep inside of everybody. There shines a light. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There shines a light. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Side of everybody, there shines light, there shines light. And the name of the light, the name of the light, the name of the light is love. The name of the light, oh. Duke. Hey, got a man, oh, I'm gonna sing. Yeah, hey. Yo, Stan, you're my number one man. We could make the scene. Dressed real fly as the frails pass by. Yeah, the one-string bass. Merci beaucoup.
What a remarkable show. Professor Strickland, that was quite a treat, as a matter of fact. I was on the edge, the thinking that you're going to get tired, because it must be quite exhausting to move from one instrument to the other and then do the breathing. And then on the top of that, you're also an incredible singer. You're a vocalist on the top of that.
Well, I think it helps having done a lot of yoga. So all that kind of breath of fire.
Yes.
You know, it's a Kundalini yoga exercise that raises your energy. So it's a good way to sort of, you know, get yourself going without having to use other devices.
Would it have been somewhat different if it was done with more setup, or?
Oh, it would have been very different, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been very
Yeah,
different.
because then you would have gotten the relationship between keyboard and different sounds.
Mm-hmm. So there are several things that we could do in the future then. As I said, 2 weeks from now, I'll be inviting the great George Russell, whom we admire, we share that. And then at a certain point, maybe we could have the two of you in a special production for African Ascent. What do you think?
I think that could be a great possibility.
Do you think it would work?
It would certainly work.
Just
be a matter of, scheduling it and everything. But
then
in terms of what we do together, yeah.
Yeah.
Because actually, we performed together on June 11th.
Oh, you did? You will be performing together on June 11th, I see.
Just a private function.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll work out the details on that. And also, when is Beauty and Love going to be released? Or?
Oh, it's been out for a while. I'll make sure you get a copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could also do parts of it for African Ascent.
Well, there's also the possibility of doing excerpts from the one-man play. I started to go into a little bit of the monologues, but didn't quite go there.
Yes.
It's about a man in Hawaii who's sort of, a little outside of himself, and so I tell these stories about him.
Wonderful. So we could, there is a lot that we're going to do, and I would like to cordially invite you to consider being a regular contributor to African Ascent.
I would love to.
And along with Armstead Christian, George Russell, and you, I think we will be sending African Ascent to the next musical level. We have about a minute left. If there's something that you'd like to say to my viewers, I have thousands of them.
I would say don't give up on possibility. Human beings are clumsy with each other, and it gets very confusing that the way that we treat each other, the kinds of cruelties that we, do to each other. But in spite of that, there's so much possibility to experience joy and love and beauty and very simple things. Just the formation of a cloud or the way a child walks. So in spite of all the things that go on, I think it's really important that we remind each other that it doesn't take a lot of money, it doesn't take fame, doesn't take accomplishments. Your worth is not based on your accomplishments. It doesn't matter what your station of life. There's an energy and spirit there.
Okay. Well, African Ascent, as promised, has brought you one of his musical luminaries. Good night. This has been your host, Teodros Kiros.